This conference will now be recorded.
Right, let's start. So yesterday we discussed the IDOC related objects like message type, IDOC type, port number, model view, partner profile, selection program, inbound process code, all those things. Okay. So let us see how to configure the IDOCs and distribute the IDOCs. Okay. So first what we'll do is as part of this IDOC, we'll see how to distribute master IDOC, master data IDOC, transaction data IDOC, as well as what customer specific data IDOC. Okay, first we'll start with what master data IDOC. So if you take master data, we have different types of master data like customer data, vendor data, material data. All this comes under what master data. So let us follow these steps here. So just observe here for the next session, spending sessions related to the IDOC, same steps you have to follow. Okay, so try to understand this step. So IDOC stands for what? Intermediate document. So IDOC can carry what? Either master data or transaction data or what? Customer specific data. So yesterday we have understood that to configure, to generate, to distribute, and to post the IDOCs, we use what? ALE technology. So what I'll do here is first we'll start with what? Distributing what? Material data, which is nothing but what? Master data from one client to what? Another client. From one client to another client. So first we'll assume we require two clients here. I want to distribute material data from one client to another client. So we require two clients in the server. So assume that in my case, I'll assume sender as 800 client and receiver as what 810 client. Okay. So from the sender system, I will identify some materials given by SAP, or I'll be creating what my own material. So first let me log on to the sender client, that is 800 client. So I'm logging into what 800 client. I'll provide the credentials. Right. So what I'll do is in the sender system, I'll assume 800 as the sender system. I'll consider some standard material as well as what some custom materials. Okay. First, I'll do one thing. Let me create some custom materials. I'll create some custom materials. So how do you create the materials? By using what? MM01 transaction code. So first for better understanding, I will take custom materials. I'll also take one standard materials plus some custom materials. So to understand the data inside the IDOC, I'm creating what? Custom materials. So in the 800 client, I'll create some custom materials. So I'll go to MM01. I'll give some material number. I'll give something gen material 100, some material number. I'll give some industry sector and some material type. Understood? Material number, industry sector, and material type. I'll choose basic data 1. Continue. Provide some description. Base rate of measure. I'll provide the data only for the mandatory fields. Let me save it. So I gave the base rate of measure as kilogram. I'll save it. Oh my God. One second, just hold on, please. There is some bad issue here. Someone might have implemented the bad and not implemented properly. So it is saying that interface if underscore ex underscore baddie material check changed at runtime. One second. They are not implemented properly. So I'll just do one thing. I'll go to packages MGA. So I'll go to SC84 under enhancement. So we have the baddies issue. So I'll just go to the definitions. Package is what? MGA execute. Yeah, there are some baddies available here. One of the baddie is what? Baddie underscore mitil underscore check. Let me check whether this baddie has got any implementation. So I'll go to SC18. What is this baddie name? Baddie underscore mitil underscore check. It is not there inside the enhancement spot. It is an independent baddie. So I'll say baddie underscore material underscore check. This is my baddie definition. For this baddie, yeah, there are some implementations available here. One of the implementation is ZBUM underscore CHK. ZBUM underscore CHK. So I'll go to SC19. What is the implementation name? ZBUM underscore CHK is the implementation name. Yeah, it is available, right? So I'll just go to this. I'll try to delete this. Do you want to delete this implementation? Yes. Do you want to keep this class? No. Yeah, it is deleted. So once again, if I choose implementation display, yeah, the implementation not available. There is one more baddie here, z baddie underscore material underscore check. It is an yellow color, might be it is active. Z baddie underscore material underscore check is the implementation name. So z baddie underscore material underscore check. If I display this implementation, yet is available. It is active also. So let me try to delete this. Do you want to delete this implementation? Yes. Do you want to keep this class? No. Yeah, it is deleted. So if you go back to SC18 implementation display, yeah, there are no implementations available. Let me cross check my transaction code MM01. I'll go to MM01. I'll give some material number. I'll choose basic data 1, provide some description. KG, save it. Program terminated, still there is issue. If underscore ex underscore baddie underscore middle check changed at runtime. Page down. If underscore ex underscore baddie underscore middle check changed at runtime. I'm just adjusting the standard table Mara by going to SC14. It may take some time, so we need to wait. Meanwhile, I'll check the implementations for other baddies. No implementations for this. Yeah, the table is activated. Let me log off. Sometimes we need to log off and log in so that it might be rectified. Let me cross check. It is still creating. Let's see whether we'll get any runtime errors. Good. Material is what created. Understood. So related to the transaction MM01, okay, when I run the T code, when I'm trying to save a material, it is giving me some runtime error. From the runtime error, there is some what information related to the body implementation, like material underscore body underscore check interface is changed. So I went to the transaction. I identified the baddies in the transaction. One of the baddies, baddie underscore material underscore check. For that baddie, there is one active implementation. So there might be some issue in that implementation. So I directly deleted that implementation. After that also still we got the runtime error. So I just activated the base table Mara, not required, but I have activated. I logged off and I relogged in, so it's working fine. So what I'll do now is I'll try to create some custom materials. Okay, I'll try to create some custom materials so that we can distribute. So I'll go to MM01. I'll give the material number as something GenMat what something 200. I'll give some industry sector. Okay, I'll give the material number as GenMat something 600. Industry sector is pharma. Material type is raw material. Done. Basic data one. Continue. Yeah, I'll provide some description. Provide the data for the mandatory fields. I'll use a base rate of where as something kilogram. Save it. Yeah, material GenMat 600 is created. I'll create another material. GenMat what? 601. Okay, I'll give some industry sector. Let me give it as something chemical industry. Material type, I'll give it as finished product. Provide some description. Yeah, provide some description. This is GenMat 601. I'll give the base return as something centimeters. Save it. So two materials are created, GenMat 600 and GenMat 601. In which client we created this? In the 800 client. So while creating these two custom materials, what is the data I captured? Material number we gave, industry sector, material type, and what else? I've selected the view basic data one. Then after that we gave some description, and what else? The base unit of measure. So let us check in which tables the data is available related to this material. So if I go to ABAP dictionary, first let me check it in Mara table. Right, in Mara table, I'll go to contents. There are many materials available in the Mara table. We have 21,000 records. I am interested only in my materials. What are the GenMat 600 is one material, right? What is the other material? I'll give multiple values here. GenMat 601, right? So when I execute, yes, it is both the materials are available in what? Mara table, right? Raw material, pharmaceuticals. This is something finished product and something MBRSH, chemical industry. Done. So it is there in what? Mara table. Let me check in MAKT table, material descriptions. Here also we have what? Material number field. So if I go to contents, I'll give the material number GenMat 600. Here also GenMat 601, two materials. Execute. Yes, it is available in what? Both the what? Tables. So these both the materials are available in what? MAKT table. Okay, done. So let me just document this. So this custom materials, whatever I created, GenMat 600, it is available in which tables? Mara table and MAKT table. And what is the other material? GenMat 601 also. It is available in Mara table and MAKT table. Okay, done. So what are the other material related tables? MARC, which stores what? Material plant. Here also we have what? Material number, but what are the materials we have created? For those materials, we have not captured the plant. plant data. So if I go to contents, if I give the material number GenMat 600, when I execute, it is saying no table entries. If you see 601, it is not available because for these materials while creating, I have not captured any plant data. If you capture plant data only, data will come and sit in what MARC table. Let me take another table, MARD, material storage locations. Here also we have material number, but we have not captured any storage location data for the materials that we created. So GenMat 601 execute, it is not there. GenMat 600 execute, it is not there. So the materials whatever we created, the data related to this materials is captured in how many tables? Two tables, MARA and what? MAKT. Since I have not captured any plant data and storage location, it is not available here. Okay, right. Let me go to MARA table. In MARA table, if I go to contents, we have 21,000 entries. I'll take one of the material. If I browse, it will show the first 200 materials. Okay, when I continue, there are many standard materials given by SAP. Okay, you select any material whatever you want, right? I'll select a material like 100-100. Let me check whether this material number is available or not. This is one of the standard material given by SAP. So when I execute, yes, this material data is there in MARA table. Let me check whether this material has got any descriptions in MAKT table. If I go to contents 100-100, execute, yes, this material has got 15 material descriptions maintained in different languages. So the data related to this material is available in what? MAKT. How many descriptions are there? 15 material descriptions maintained in 15 different languages. Let me take another table, MARC, material plant data. If I go to contents, 100-what? 100, execute. Yes, this material has got some 18 plants. It has got some 18 plants. Same material has got 18 plants. Okay, let me go to MARD table. Right, if I go to contents, what is the material number? 100 hyphen what? Sorry, 100-100, execute. Yes, it has got some 12 storage location. So I identified one standard material. What is the standard material here? 100-100 is a material number. The data related to this table is stored in what? Many tables, na? MARA table, MAKT table, MARC table, MARD table, like that. It might be stored in many tables. We have collected the data from what? 4 different tables. So my requirement now is I want to distribute these three materials from 800 client to what? 810 client. Okay, all these tables, MARA, MAKT, MARC, MARD, all are client dependent tables. Na? What is the concept of client dependent tables? The data is what? Specific to the respective client. So let me log off this 800 client. I'm logging off the 800 client. What I'll do is let me log on to 810 client. Let me check whether these materials are available. These materials we have collected from which client? 800 client. So let me log on to 810 client. So in my system, I'm having another client number 810. 810, I'll provide the credentials. The user, okay, if you're practicing on the rental system, you drop a mail to the vendor asking for another client details. They'll provide you the client number and the user ID and password. So in my case, what is the password? Yeah. So I logged into which client now? 810 client. Understood? I'm in 810 client now. So let me go to what? Mara table. In the Mara table, let me check for those materials. In 800 client in the Mara table, how many materials were there? Around 21,000 records are there. So in 810 client, how many are there? Only 552 materials. Because client dependent means what? The entries are specific to the client. So what are the materials that we want to distribute from there? 100-100 execute. Is it there? It is not there. This standard material is not there. And what are the other two materials I created? GenMat 600. Anyhow, we have created this in what? 800. It will not be available in what? 810. So it is not available. 600 is also not there. 601 is also not there. So it is not available in the base table Mara. So if it is not available in base table, obviously it will not be available in the other tables. Na? So in MAKT table, if I go to contents, what is the material number? 100-100. Execute. It is not there. Okay. So what is the other material? GenMat 600. Execute. It is also not there. 601. Not there. Am I clear? So it is not there in what? This table also. Obviously, it will not be there in what? Other tables also. So for your confirmation, I am cross-checking. Otherwise, if it is not there in Mara table, obviously you have to understand that it is not available in the other table. So it is not there here. What is the other one? GenMat 600, not there. 601 is not there. So all these three materials are not available in the target client. MARD material story locations. If we go to contents, 100-100 is the material. Execute. Done. Not there. Okay. GenMat 600. Not there. 601, not there. Okay, so what are the materials I want to distribute from 800 client? They are not available in what? 810 client. So overall, how many materials I want to distribute? Three materials. I know only the material numbers. I don't know in how many tables the data is there related to that material. So some material data might be there in only one or two tables. Some material data might be there in what? Multiple tables. So in this case only our material data is stored in how many tables? Two tables. Whereas one of the standard material given by SAP, that material contains what? Plant data and storage data also. So that material data is spread across what? Many tables. So when I generate the IDOC, I need not worry about in what tables the data is there. Understood? So clear? We need not worry about in which tables the data is there. Just you have to give the key field value. What is the key field related to material? Material number. The moment you give the list of materials, the selection program which we execute in the sender system will automatically pick up the data stored in what? Many tables and generates the IDOC. So overall these three materials I want to distribute from 800 client to 810 client. Yeah, any questions up to this point? Right. So source is 800 client here, receiver is what? 810 client. So I want to create two logical systems. We are how many logical systems you have to create? The number of logical systems depends upon number of systems involved in what? IDOC communication. In this case, we have one sender and one receiver. So we require what? Two logical systems. Okay. If there are two receivers and one sender, we require what? Three logical systems. Okay. So the number of logical systems depends upon what? Number of systems involved in what? IDOC communication. Yesterday I told you the tables related to the logical system, TBDLS. These tables are what? Client independent. I think TBDLS is what? Client independent. So let me go to what? 800 client. Is it client dependent or independent? Let me cross check. Yeah, I'm in the 800 client. If I go to ABAP dictionary, what is the table? TBDLS. It is a table which stores the logical systems. It is client independent. It is client independent. I don't have MANDT field, na, so it is client independent. So since it is client independent, I can create both the logical systems in what? 800 client only. Understood? Client independent means what? Not specific to any client. If it is client dependent, what? It is specific. So if it is client dependent, I have to create one logical system in 800 client, another logical system in what 810 client. But here this table is what client independent. So I can create both the logical systems in what sender side only, so that it is available in what 810 also. On what basis we can say? Because it is client independent table. So let me create what two logical systems. So I'm doing the steps at what sender side. Why I'm creating both the logical systems in the sender side only? Because both the clients belong to the same server na? And this logical system table is client independent. So whether you create in 800 or 810, it is available across all the clients of the same server. If it is a different server, if the target client is part of different server, then obviously we have to create one client in source client server, another logical system, target client server. Okay. So here, since both the clients belong to the same server, I'll create two logical systems in the same client, that is 800 client. So what is the transaction code here? I can use SALE T code or BD 54. SALE or BD 54. Okay. So let me try to create that. So I'll go to SALE T code or BD 54. So don't try to buy the navigations. Spend time on the system, you'll understand. Okay. So I'll go to SALE T code. Right. So under basic settings, logical systems, right? Under basic settings, under logical systems, define what logical system. Table is cross client, means it is client independent table. Cross client means client independent. Done. New entries. Okay. It is asking me to provide the entries. So I'll just click on new entries. I'll give the logical system name as something gen send, and here I'll give the description as Gensoft sender system. I'll give another logical system gen recv. I'll give the description as something Gensoft receiver system. Gensoft receiver system. Save it. Yeah, it is asking for the request. I can continue or I can go for what? New request. Provide some description. A request gets generated. Continue. Right. So logical systems are created. Gen send and what? Gen recv. So it is saved here. Done. So let me document. So what are the logical systems here? Gen send is one logical system and another logical system is Gen recv. Then what you have to do? We have to assign these logical systems to the source and what? Receiver clients. We need to assign the logical systems to the source and what receiver clients. Okay, so what is the source client here? 800 is the source client and 810 is the what receiver client. Okay, so let me assign the logical systems to the source and receiver clients. What is the T code for that? Same SALE T code, or I can use what SC C4. So within this same, we are in SALE T code only. Under basic settings, under logical system, earlier you have chosen what? Define logical system. Now I'll choose what? Assign logical systems to client. Okay, table is cross client. Done. So it is showing you the clients here. In our case, I'll assume 800 as a source client and 810 as a receiver client. So I'll double click on 800. Right. I'll give the logical system name. What is that? Gen sender. Jensen. So for the 800 client, I'm assigning the logical system, save it. When I save it, I'm getting a message. Be careful when changing the logical system. Done, save it, go back. Then I'll double click on 810 client. I'll give the logical system name as Gen recv. Gen recv. Okay, I'll save it. Done. So we have assigned logical systems to the source and receiver client. So what we have done here, for 800 client we have assigned what? Gen and for 810 client we have assigned what? Gen RECV. Then what is the next step? Create RFC destination. So what is the source here? 800 is the source. What is the receiver here? 810. Okay. So RFC destination always points to the receiver. Na? We have to distribute the IDOC from 800 to 810. So for 800, who is the target? 810. So that 810 will have some details. Na? We have to give the RFC destination pointing to what? 810 client. We have to give the RFC destination pointing to 810 client. So I require the IP address. So what I'll do, I can use SALET code or SM59. SALET code or same SM59 which I use in RFC concept also. So since I require the IP address, what I'll do, I'll just right click on my system. I'll go to in the logon pad, I'll right click on my configured system. I'll go to properties. This is the IP address 122 dot so and so. And what is the system number? 91 it seems. 91. Okay, so let me create the RFC destination SM59 or else here only in SLET code. Earlier we went under basic settings. Now under communication, I'll choose what? Create RFC communications or else already we have seen in RFC, go to SM59. Here also it will open the same thing. Create RFC connections. Done. I'll choose ABAP connections. Create. Choose ABAP connections. Create. Yeah. I'll give the what RFC destination name as something Gen IDOC Dest. Okay. So I'll just give the description here. Gensoft IDOC destination from 800 to 810. Some meaningful description. In the technical settings, let me give the IP address. This is IP address. System number is what? 91. Huh? System number is 91. Done. Okay. Right. So I gave the target host, that is IP address, and the instance number. I'll choose logon and security. Here I have to provide the credentials of what? Remote client. What is the target client? 810. So I'll provide the credentials of the target client. I'll provide the client target client number, user ID, and what password. What is the password? Done. I'll save it. Let me check whether my details are correct or not. As of now, we are in which client? 800 client. Okay. I'll click on connection test. If these details are correct, it will be successfully connected. I'll click on this connection test. I clicked on connection test. Let's see what happens. I gave it 10. No? Oh, there is a problem, boss. Connection error. There is a problem. Okay, I'll just click on remote logon and check it. As of now, I'm in 800 minute. I'll click on remote logon. Error when opening the RFC connection. There is an issue here. I give the IP address, I give the instance number, logon security. Okay, password. Okay, there's a problem here. Let me try to log on manually. Manually, I'm able to connect. If this doesn't come, we cannot proceed further. Let me check the existing RFC connections. Just a minute. Yeah, we'll do one thing. I'll cancel the session for today. I need to resolve this. Okay, because if this doesn't work, we cannot see practically. Okay, so I'll try. I tried with different servers, but all are failed. Right, so I'll cancel for today. Let me check it offline. Tomorrow we'll see it. Okay, is it okay with everyone? We'll continue tomorrow. Okay, today's recording
Okay.
also I'll not share. I'll not share the
Okay.
today's recording also because we have not
Okay,
done
sir.
anything. I'll repeat it from the beginning from tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll create some more materials and we'll see it from the scratch. Okay,
Okay, sir.
right?
No problem.
Yeah. Chala then. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll continue tomorrow.